everyone, it's me Giovanni, and today I wanted to well, before I get into the topic of the video, yesterday I used that hand spray again, and thankfully when I noticed, close inspection, that when I used that spray, apparently the ants don't move anymore. They're like dead. They're like frozen. They just don't move anymore. And when I came to check just recently, especially this morning, there were no other ants that were crawling about near the pantry in the kitchen. And thankfully, I don't see any ants near my tablet, so I can safely say that ant spray 100% works. It's actually helpful. And thankfully, I'm pretty sure that no other ants will ever bother me again. Thank God. I hope. Because even with my room, the drawers, I'm just a little unsure. Just a little bit. But anyway, the other thing is that Wattpad had an update, and I knew that an update was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to happen yesterday, that night. So I updated Wattpad, and the logo changed, which was weird, but okay. And I looked up if an app updates damages your storage or increases or decreases or whatever, and for some reason it does, but like for example with my phone storage, nothing's affected or increased. And when I came to check the device care battery thing on the settings, the internet storage was completely fine. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, case closed. But for the actual topic of this video, I discussed in my last video, looking at Richard, talking about him being my character, and the story of Lolita. I kind of rambled off a bit, especially about how Lolita, the aesthetics that were inspired by Lolita, the coquette aesthetic, specifically Dollette and vintage Americana, the colors pink, white, and red remind me of Valentine's Day. It's just weird. But anyway, about the character of Richard. Now, I made my story about Richard Hayes and Ryo Hayabusa, and unlike my original story where I first brought Richard into my life, Richard, in the original story taking place in 1964 during Valentine's Day, Richard has extreme emotions and is kind of a crybaby, but also has this weird fetish, which was actually a last minute idea that I had, which it was honestly just too late for me to change it to anything else. So basically the weird fetish is that he dresses up and acts like a baby. really weird. Anyway, so in my news story about Richard Hayes, where he's friends with Ryu Hayabusa, I wanted to make him a bit more sympathetic, unlike what I did originally with the character. Because I wanted to give him a backstory of why he, especially about what a certain type of girls are, or women. He mostly likes redheads, including certain redheads, regardless if they're black or white. I just want to point that out there because I like black people just as much as any other person. Don't judge me. But anyway, now, when Richard Hayes was 7 years old, he had this babysitter who he heard rumors about. He didn't like her. She was blonde with blue eyes, fair skin, and wore heavy makeup. He thought that she was mean and sort of seductive and extremely snobby. He just really didn't like her. One day when he was playing with his childhood friend Iris, who he had a crush on, his babysitter, Ava, saw them playing near the cliffs and decided to check on them. Now, when she came near them, Richard got extremely upset, and Iris accidentally fell off the cliff, hitting her skull on the rock, dying instantly. Richard was extremely heartbroken and upset and blamed Ava for everything. The next day after Iris's death, Richard pushed Ava down the stairs and she died instantly by breaking her neck. When Richard's father, Joseph, came home, he saw Richard standing above the stairs with a blank expression on his face. Now, Richard suffers from extreme emotions. He can get extremely angry, extremely upset. When he gets angry, he yells, shouts, screams, and absolutely cause a fit. Meanwhile, when he gets upset, he just cries at an instant and just continues to cry and then sob and he doesn't stop until someone tries to calm him down. Someone tries to calm him down. He can get extremely attached to someone that he likes and extremely dislikes someone due to the fact that he's not into them or he just doesn't like them regardless. Now, I thought to myself, it's probably easy to diagnose my own character with borderline personality disorder, where most of the time with that illness, when someone is suffering borderline personality disorder, they mostly suffer extreme emotions and are unable to control them. Richard also suffer borderline personality disorder also has the symptoms of having the person who was suffered from abuse or a traumatic event that happened in their life, which is no surprise considering that I've already told you one of the things that happened to Richard during his childhood. Richard is also, sometimes he thinks that he's worthless, and when he's alone, he's afraid to be alone, afraid to be abandoned, afraid of not being loved, afraid of not finding a perfect girlfriend for him. He's extremely sensitive. Probably way more sensitive than I am, if I had to be honest about my own character. Richard kind of suffers from depression because I feel like in a certain aspect in his life, he would talk to himself, thinking of wanting to kill himself because he thinks that his life is a waste. He would constantly cry and just weep, collapse into bed, and just, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. He's also sensitive to, if, similar to my character Quinzel, if they're not the one committing a certain act, and if it's someone else, then they can get extremely upset, embarrassed, flustered, or even in shock, or just angry. And as for Richard's case, he doesn't like it when women are taken advantage of. Naked. Having sex. They're exposed to private parts. Them being, are worded, especially without consent, and the substance of babies. Just ew. You know, I don't care if this video gets age restricted from what I'm saying, but and it's mostly due to the fact that even though I'm now friends, I was and still I still am friends with this person. I talk to them on DeviantArt, and that's the only place that they have a social media account of. They like to post pictures of mostly dead or alive characters, women, either in bikinis, topless, or just plain naked. Now, I don't have a problem with it, but I mean, I understand and I respect it, but at the time when I first saw it, I was uneasy about it. Okay, I think that's all for now. Bye.